write books that incorporate white lives into them substantially.
I have done.
In a substantial way.
You can't understand how powerfully racist that question is, can you? Because you could never ask a white author, when are you going to write about black people? Whether he did or not, or she did or not. Even the inquiry comes from a position of being in the center.
And being used to being in the center.
And being used to being in the center. And saying, you know, is it ever possible that you will enter the mainstream? It's inconceivable that where I already am is the mainstream.
They looked at just 12 southern states between 1877 to 1950. Turns out there were 3,959 victims of what they call racial terror lynchings.
My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens.
I don't know what most white people in this country feel, but I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know, as Malcolm X once put it, that the most segregated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That says a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks that give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma.
In my opinion, the young generation of whites, blacks, browns, whatever else there is, you're living at a time of extremism, a time of revolution, a time when there's got to be a change. People in power have misused it, and now there has to be a change, and a better world has to be built, and the only way it's going to be built is with extreme methods. And I, for one, will join in with anyone, don't care what color you are, as long as you want to change this miserable condition that exists on this earth.
What the Gay Rights Ordinance in San Francisco, the main focus is to prevent the people who are already employed, who are gay, who, if they want to come out and break down the stereotypes, prevents them from being fired.
I am not calling the gentleman, Mr. Meadows, a racist for doing so. I'm saying that in itself, it is a racist act.
Is this the land of the free and the home of the brave? No. Is this a land with liberty and justice for all? No. Is this one nation, indivisible, under God? No. Either let us practice the democracy we are preaching, or shut up.
Well, there's no single simple meaning of the term revolutionary. A revolutionary is a man or a woman who is a lot of things, but basically the revolutionary wants to change the nature of society in a way to promote a world where the needs and interests of the people are responded to.
It doesn't take much to look on the local news every night and see how many black kids, black boys, black men are being killed with these stand your ground defenses that these people raise. Then they get off. I am a mother too. And I have a son. And I care as much for my son as y'all care for y'all's. But my son doesn't walk the same path as yours does.
FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover today asserted that the Black Panthers represent the greatest internal threat to the nation.
Every incident that have been tipped off in this country in the last 2 years up north have been tipped off by uniformed police. Now, I'm not saying the police is right or wrong. I'm saying when you have these incidents that's tipped off with this one symbol, then we should look into it and see what it is. When 22 million people, be they black or white, start hollering police brutality, then it's time to start listening to 22 million people and going in. A lot of people say, well, it's not police brutality. Police brutality is not when a cop necessarily knocks me upside the head. It's when a cop calls me nigger when he's making the arrest. It's when he handles me wrongly in every process of processing the arrest. This is a form of police brutality.
America's not unique in its sins as a country. We're not unique in our evils. I think where we may be singular is our refusal to acknowledge them and the legends and myths we tell about our inherent, goodness to hide and cover and conceal so that we can maintain a kind of willful ignorance that protects our innocence. I've had the privilege of growing up in a tradition that didn't believe in the myths and the legends because we had to bear the brunt of them.
Republicans in February blocked Senator Bernie Sanders' bill to provide $21 billion in medical and other benefits for veterans.
When our men and women come home from war, some wounded in body, some wounded in spirit, I don't want to hear people telling me it's too expensive to take care of those wounded veterans. I don't accept that. If you think it's too expensive to take care of veterans, don't send them to war.
Back in 1998, a black man, James Byrd Jr., accepted a ride from 3 white men. Instead of taking him home, they drove him down a remote Jasper County road, beat him, and dragged him for 3 miles behind their pickup truck.
I am, I think, quite disgusted, really, to be honest, that as Muslim legislators, we are constantly being asked to waste our time speaking to issues that other people are not asked to speak to, because the assumption exists is that we somehow support and are for, right? There is an assumption. So I want to make sure that the next time someone is in an audience and is looking at me and Rashida and Abdul and Sam, that they ask us the proper questions that they will probably ask any member of Congress.
I think the only thing that's really changed is the black woman.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you weren't happy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell. Because I love you, I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man? For 10 years, so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today.
How many bales of cotton have you picked? How many beatings have you taken? He couldn't say nothing.
Earlier today, we heard the beginning of the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. We the people. It's a very eloquent beginning. But when that document was completed on the 17th of September in 1787, I was not included in that we the people. I felt somehow for many years that George Washington and Alexander Hamilton just left me out by mistake. But through the process of amendment, interpretation, and court decision, I have finally been included in we the people.
A boy last week, he was 16 in San Francisco, told me on television. Thank God we got him to talk. Maybe somebody will start to listen. He said, I got no country, I've got no flag. Now, he's only 16 years old. And I couldn't say you do. I don't have any evidence to prove that he does. They were tearing down his house. We're talking about human beings. There's not such a thing as a monolithic wall or, you know, some abstraction called the Negro problem. These Negro boys and girls who at 16 and 17 don't believe the country means anything that it says, don't feel they have any place here, on the basis of the performance of the entire country.
Well, now, Jim...
No, am I exaggerating?
No, I certainly could not say that you're exaggerating.
My name is Legacy Garner, the daughter of Drew Miller and my dad, Eric Garner. No justice, no peace.
You don't think you will ever change and...
What's up with it? What's up with it? How y'all doing? This is Ty, starting off this the section we got it going on. So I wanted to make sure I got on here. I know it's hella late right now. Right now it's almost midnight in New York. So it's 9 o'clock in LA, almost 9 o'clock in LA. But there's a lot I want to talk about. Y'all know last night we had the debate, the debacle. Hold on, I think right now we're live on Twitter, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. I think I'm live on, I'm about to go live on Instagram too to tell people to come see me. Just so they can know, because I got to build up this channel. So, what's up? I'm live right now. You guys should go to YouTube. No, go to Twitter or YouTube at the section. Check me out. We live. I'm gonna just stay live on Instagram, so maybe some people can, cause I ain't got no followers right now. So, but it's the section. I'm trying to start. As you guys know, I've been doing this for like 5 years now, just working in politics. So obviously I got a big mouth and I got a lot to say. So I want to make sure that I can, you know, say what I need to say, especially right now that we're going through a primary in the Democratic Party. And we got a whole lot of things going on, a whole lot of misconceptions, a whole lot of Monday quarterbacking or highlight reviewing type people. You know, the people that, hey, you guys on Instagram, go to Twitter, go to my Twitter or go to like YouTube. But if you go to YouTube to the section, you probably won't see it, but go to Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to see me live right now. Right now, you probably can't hear me as much because the mic ain't connected. But if you go to Facebook or Twitter right now, go to my account, you'll be able to see it live. So check it out on Facebook or Twitter right now. Everybody that's on IG, go to Twitter or Facebook. If y'all can hear me, go to Twitter or Facebook, and y'all be able to see it look way better. But anyway, there's a lot of. I was on the phone this morning with my family, and we was praying. And me and my aunt, we always get into it over like politics and stuff like that. Cause she, you know, she's unlike every other older black person. Ebony sent you a request. She sent me a request. Let me see. You tripping? Hey y'all, you guys want to see it? Go to Facebook right now. Go to my Facebook page or go to Twitter, you'll be able to see it live. Levette, go to the Facebook page. What'd you say? All right. Go to the thing and text it to me on the website. All right. I'm gonna connect it and make it where I'm gonna connect it in a bit where we can go live and I can be able to interact with people. But right now I can't. So go to the thing and watch it, and then I'll get at you. Yeah. So everybody on Instagram, go to either Facebook or Twitter. You can go to YouTube and look up the section, but when I went there, it's not prioritized, so you probably won't find it. But if you go to my Instagram page, or you can go to my YouTube page at Tommy, and you go to my not Instagram, my Twitter page or my Facebook page, you'll be able to see it. But anyway, I had a conversation with my family earlier. And we're in South Carolina right now, and obviously, like older black people just for no other reason than because they know him want to vote for Biden. It's just Biden. Biden looked like he's about to like pass out or something. I don't know. He's not as quick. He kind of rambles, and I don't want to like make it seem like a joke because it may be something wrong. I remember when my grandfather, he died. He had Alzheimer's, and I remember when it first started. We didn't know what it was. We knew he was acting kind of different, but not really because he was already mean. And so I kind of see that with Biden. Like he's not 100%, but because people are just, especially with. So this is my issue is that when people are not following politics, they haven't been following it since the primary started. They haven't even been looking at the candidates and their policies. They just jump on what they're familiar with. You know what I mean? And people are so frustrated, especially people that are like that's not informed. We're all frustrated, but the people that's not informed, they just want to jump on what's familiar. Oh, this is what I'm used to. He was with Joe Biden was Barack Obama's vice president. Barack Obama chose Joe Biden is because he wanted to get the middle class white vote, the working class vote. Period. That's it. Joe Biden tried to say that the only reason, I don't know if you guys remember, he said the only reason Barack was winning at the point before he dropped out the race in 2008. He said the only reason Barack is winning is because he's articulate and well-spoken black person. Like this is how Biden sees us. There's so many problematic. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you guys a video. There's so many things that Biden's done to let you know that how he sees black people is just not where we need to go as a country. Period. You know what I'm saying? He's been saying for this entire time, South Carolina is my firewall. That's as if black people are just some monolith where, I know they're going to vote for me. I don't have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? I know they're going to vote for me. That's my firewall. He didn't care. He didn't lost the last 3 primaries. And ever since he lost in Iowa, it's been, my firewall is South Carolina. My firewall is South Carolina. And he was endorsed by a guy in South Carolina today. He's the majority whip. I just forgot his name right quick. Let me see. Where is his name at? Clyburn. I think that's his last name. He's like the majority whip of the Congress in South Carolina. And I guess this guy, he endorses people every primary in the Democratic Party, and for the most part, his endorsement is real influential. And so people look for his endorsement. Well, he endorsed Biden, obviously, because Biden, they've been friends forever. He talked about when he endorsed him how Biden, like the history of Biden and how his late wife loved him. And you can see out the gate, it's just something, this is my friend. I'm not voting for what I think is better for the country right now. I'm voting for this person because I know him, because I like him, because he's my friend, and I have some type of alliance to him, which is absurd, I think it's the reason why we have Trump right now. Everybody voting versus alliance, and people got tired of it. Then you got some guy that was lying and campaigning as a populist, said he's gonna do this. He's gonna empty out the swamp, and guess what? Everybody went for it because they're sick and tired of people just voting people in because they are part of the in crowd. You know what I'm saying? They're part of the team, and so, but I got me and my aunt. We always talk about politics, and she get upset. And I think right now, because she didn't think Bernie's gonna be where he is right now, and so I think she gets a little frustrated when we talk about it. But there's a reason why Bernie's where he is. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that Oh, Bernie's been on the ground since 2016. Tell me this. Has it been any other candidate that once they lost a primary said, you know what? It's not about becoming president. It's about changing the laws in this country. Then go after big corporations like Amazon and Walmart and publicly shame them enough to make them raise their minimum wage to $15. Did it with Disney as well. Because it wasn't about him becoming president. You know what I'm saying? It was about him just having the notoriety to be able to influence change. And that's what he's been doing. He didn't stop just because in 2016, that's why everyone knows who Bernie is right now. Because after he lost in 2016, or after he was cheated out of the nomination through super delegates in 2016, he didn't say, okay, I'm done. No, he realized that he had a huge following, and he used that leverage to demand that these huge companies start to pay their workers not even a living wage, like $15. People can't survive off $15 an hour, but at least something so that they can, like a start, right? That they can feel like, at least I can try to work things out. And so now, and you know, I feel like if you look at the pundits, I want to show y'all some clips because I don't know if you guys saw the debates in South Carolina. To me, it was literally just, how would I say it? I don't know. It's just all over the place, and everyone was yelling. So everyone was going after Bernie. And to me, I remember once it was over, I was like, they didn't do anything. Like they did anything. Like Bernie didn't seem like everyone went after him. If you guys saw what happened in Nevada with Michael Bloomberg and how everyone went after Michael Bloomberg, they went after Bernie that same way, but none of it stuck. They were all over the place. People were yelling, and to me, I mean, you never know this. I wasn't paying attention too much to politics like I am now. Back in 2008, when this guy Claiborne from South Carolina endorsed Obama. So I'm not sure his influence, but Bernie has been creeping up to Biden in South Carolina ever since Iowa. So it will please my heart. Someone text. I posted a image, a thing. I posted this thing of the image of Bernie Sanders on IG, and someone responded, "It'll never happen." I said the image was Bernie for South Carolina. It will never happen. Oh, how much it will please my soul, because I didn't respond. I was like, I don't even know who the person is. They don't have a picture of themselves. They just hide. You know, a lot of people ain't got no heart. They like to hide behind some random post. But I'm like, oh, how much it would please my heart. Please, please, Bernie, just win. Just win. Because if he wins, if Bernie wins South Carolina, guess what? Those moderate Democrats are going to have to start looking at somebody else because Biden is leaving. He's not getting no more. He's not getting enough money right now. Think about it. Super Tuesday's coming up. He hasn't campaigned in any other states. He has no commercials going on in California and any other Super Tuesday states, period. He's putting all his chips on South Carolina. And then I guess if he wins South Carolina, raising enough money to then, in the next 3 days before Super Tuesday, to start ramping up some what do you call it? Just visibility in those states. He's gonna use 3 days. We have all these other candidates that has money. Michael Bloomberg, obviously, because he's a billionaire, and Bernie Sanders. They've already been doing commercials and ads and everything in these Super Tuesday states. But it was crazy. You know, I've been watching CNN, and a lot of these pundits, a lot of the people that they have on, especially, what is his name? A guy from South Carolina. He was in the state. He was in the state Congress. Bakari Sellers. That's his name. Bakari Sellers. He hates Bernie. He don't give Bernie no props. And if he, like, the past couple of nights, he had to give him props because there's nothing he can say really. But he now he's trying to act like, well, that's not going to happen in South Carolina. South Carolina, we're different. We're different in South Carolina. Okay, we're different in South Carolina. So let's see. I want to see how different we are in South Carolina. I'm looking forward to seeing how different we are in South Carolina. But every time they talk about it, and even like tonight, he tried to, they said some stuff, people were booing. They didn't touch Bernie Sanders. I'm going to just show y'all a little clip of what they're talking about. And this is the people. And by the way, bless CBS's heart. Bless CBS's heart. They had no control over that debate last night. They were just letting people just get out of pocket, get out of line, and just talk, and they couldn't say nothing. I guess they're not used to debates, But let's see what they had to say about it. Now, I think this is telling. So here, yeah.
This morning, the Democrats in last night's CBS News debate held almost nothing back in their last confrontation before Saturday's South Carolina primary and next week's Super Tuesday. Candidates desperate to stop frontrunner Bernie Sanders' momentum took him on from start to finish.
Medicare for all will lower health care costs in this country by $450 billion a year.
The math does not add up.
It adds up to 4 more years of Donald Trump.
It doesn't show enough about how we're going to pay for it. I dug in, I did the work, and then Bernie's team trashed me for it.
Former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg hit Sanders over intelligence claims that Russians are trying to help him in the election.
Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected, so you'll lose to him.
Hey, Mr. Putin, if I'm president of the United States, trust me, you're not going to interfere in any more American elections.
A CBS News poll taken after the debate shows 47% of viewers came away feeling nervous about the available candidates, while 42% were optimistic. 45% said they were impressed by Sanders' performance. That's the largest number for any candidate.
Senior political analyst and 60 Minutes correspondent, that's John Dickerson, is here, along with CBS News political contributor.
Pause that for a second.
And Democrat.
Let's see, let's pause that.
Not really. And so these debates, while
is that it was a diffuse.
Last night's performance just a minute and 15. CBS News political contributor.
5% said they were impressed by Sanders' performance. That's the
Look at
largest
that.
number for any candidate.
Let's pause that for a second. If y'all can hear me. My check. 45%. Do you guys see that? Tell me. You see that? 45%. This is after the debate. After the debate, when they're just yelling and everyone's on Sanders' head. 45%. You know why? Because it was cluttered. They had no focus. They don't know what they're going to do. Mind you, the entire politics of the Democratic Party today, what everyone's been campaigning on, obviously a lot of them have shifted since it started, but what they've been campaigning on has been everything that they were saying was radical in 2016 when he was running against Hillary. That's everyone's platform or some variation of it, period. When everyone first came out and said that they were running, everyone had damn near the same platform that Bernie had. Medicare for all, now everyone's shifted because they don't have any integrity. They're shifting to what they think people will want, not what they have in their heart. You know what I'm saying? Bernie's been having this for the past 30 years. Politics came to him. He didn't adjust for politics so people can jump on. Politics came to him. And that's why you see everybody else adjusting. But what happened is they don't have any integrity. They don't have any focus. So they're just trying to it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks. That's all that they're doing. And you see none of it worked. What is it? Go back there again. One more time. Why is this thing not cutting? Ask for it to cut. Let's see. Just do it like this. Bam. It's good. 2000. 45%. 45% of people, this is after they watched the debates, mind you. This is not before they saw the debates. This is after they watched the debate. 45% were still in favor of Bernie. Biden, 43%. Now this is where all his dice is. This is his firewall. I ain't gonna try to play him. I was about to say his Negro firewall, because that's damn near how he act. You know what I'm saying? As if you know, we are just this, like I said, we're just this monolith, and that all black people are going to vote one way, and he thinks that because to me I can insinuate from what he's assuming is that we're not diligent enough to look up his past or to look up his politics to vote any other way. Black people just vote based on what their mother voted or what they knew in the past. Like, how do you all of a sudden feel after you done lost all these caucus in the primaries that South Carolina for some reason is your firewall? Because the majority, I think it's 53% black voting population. That's why, and he thinks he's going to get that, period, just because they're black. Never mind his politics. We're not preoccupied with him with the crime bill. I'm gonna show y'all this video I did because I think this is funny. Let me see if I can get it. It's a video I did some time ago. With Bernie Sanders more. Let's go here. A video with Bernie Sanders. Let me get up out of it. Let me get back on me. My bad. This video I did with Bernie Sanders. Let me see. Who is this? You trying to play me? Let me see. So this is a video I did with Joe Biden. My bad. This is when Joe Biden, for some reason, when he likes to laugh at a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? He thinks if you question him on race, it's like, what? He think that's funny because I'm not. It's nothing about me that's racist. How could you possibly say so? I did this little kind of mock video of him because at one time in the comments, let's see. Okay, here you go. This is during the earlier debates. A lot of you guys that probably hadn't seen the earlier debates when he was in Detroit. We went out there to cover that. And so I'm gonna show y'all this right quick. Let's see. And when he was in Detroit, so I made this little edit of this because this is how he feels. So y'all can really see. This is coming out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? This is all him. So regardless of what he tell you, this is him right here. Period. Let's see.
As you stand here tonight, what responsibility do you think that Americans need to take to repair the legacy of slavery in our country?
I don't care why someone is a malfactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. We have an obligation to...
Just to pause for a second. What you're seeing right here is when he was campaigning for the... I'm sorry. What you're seeing right here is when he was campaigning to get the crime bill passed in '94. So that's him on the floor, on the Senate floor, arguing to pass the crime bill. So I just want to give you a little context. You guys can look that up as well so you can know.
Why someone is a malfactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior, but they are in jail. Away from my mother, your husband, our families.
Word.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean.
So that's when he was talking about Barack, when he was running against Barack in 2008 during the primaries. He had an interview and he was saying the reason why people were liking Obama, why white working class people were liking Obama, and that was his excuse because he's clean. No, just let's hear that again. This is Biden. This is who older black people want to become the president right here.
Husband, our families.
Word.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean.
The first, by the way, let's not understate what he said. The first clean, mainstream, articulate. The first. Let's continue.
And bright and clean.
We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children.
Bobby Rush said the other day, I'm ashamed that I voted for the 94 crime bill. You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. In fact, I drafted the bill.
Okay, I need you to hear that because if CNN had a town hall today and they had him on here, he tried to act like, oh no, he was ashamed of the crime bill. Like, oh, well, this is what we did. He had 11 excuses of why it wasn't a bad thing. But he tried to allude to him regretting that the fact that it happened. Listen to this, though. This is him being interviewed. This is in 2017 or something like that.
Children.
Bobby Rush said the other day, I'm ashamed that I voted for the 94 crime bill. You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. In fact, I drafted the bill.
In fact, I drafted the bill. No, I'm not ashamed of it. Matter of fact, I do you one better. I drafted the bill. And this is his reaction when he was on stage and they asked him a question on race.
Mr. Vice President, I want to come to you and talk to you about inequality in schools and race. In a conversation about...
Look.
Goddamn pickaninny. As you stand here
Look,
tonight...
that was his reaction. You guys can go back and watch it. I know it is edited. The clip is edited for sure. But all that, none of it's taken out of context at all. Go ahead and watch it. You'll see none of it's taken out of context. I edited to make it short, but all those things are they're in its actual context if you see it. Like if you guys are on YouTube, on Instagram, go to my Twitter or Facebook or YouTube and you'll be able to see the background. Because right now, how you have it with IG, you can just see the green screen, but it'll look better. But I have followers on IG and I'm trying to get followers on the page. But that's it. You look at that. That's his policy right there. But these centrists, they're banking on your ignorance. They're banking on the fact that you won't be diligent enough to look into their policies, look into their past, to see what's going on, that you're just going to cast a vote based on what you're familiar with, cast a vote based on what you know, cast a vote based on your fear of Donald Trump doing another term. That's what they're banking on this, period. And I'm telling you, just look it up. Don't fall for the okie doke. Because the only person that has a black agenda that's real is Bernie. Elizabeth Warren took Bernie's whole platform and then she tried to adjust it. Then she tried to say now, I'm telling you, Elizabeth Warren will go in there and change up. You know, she was a Republican in the 90s. She was a Republican, period. You know what I mean? She tried to say that she was Native American. I don't know if you guys remember when her and Donald Trump went head to head and she was like, no, I'm Native American and this and that. And he was like, no, you're not. And so she did a DNA test and no, she's not, obviously. But anyway, during Standing Rock, when all those people were getting bombed and the fire hose was being spread, sprayed on them during Standing Rock, she didn't say anything. You don't have to be Native American to say anything. Right is right, is wrong is wrong. It looked like it was the 1960s over there. And she didn't say anything until after Obama said something. I think it was December 2nd, December 2nd, 2000, going into 2017, Obama put out a statement against what the police was doing to these Native Americans in North Dakota. And that's when she said something after that. Before, she didn't say nothing. Mind you, she's been claiming to be a progressive this entire time. Claiming to have the same politics that Bernie has. There's no way you can have this exact politics that Bernie Sanders have, but endorse Hillary Clinton in 2016. What? She's playing politics, man. And y'all can fall for it if you want, because you want to feel comfortable, but don't vote against your own interest. They're going to always tell you that things ain't going to work. How are we going to pay for it? They don't never ask you, oh, we need $50 billion for the military-industrial complex. They don't say anything about that. It's, oh, let's pass that bill. Let's make it happen. Period. But anytime it has to do something that will take more money out of corporations, because if you take money out of the military, guess what? It takes money from corporations. You got the American government is funding different corporations is building equipment for the military that we don't even use anymore. And they still have these contracts where they're paying all this money out that we don't even use anymore. And they're just doing it because this is the same reason why we're in war. The same reason why we have this perpetuary war. Like we've been in, this is the longest war now we've been in, I don't know what, 2001. It's almost 20 years. The longest war in American history. Period. Military industrial complex. You know what I'm saying? That's why Trump bombed Iran. Why? So he could provoke a war. Because guess what? Historically speaking, when the war is going on, that incumbent stays in office another term because people don't want to change leadership during the war. And that's what he's provoking, period. It was no reason. Looking at the statistics, they been knew where old boy was. I can't think of his name right now, but they been knew where he was, and they never, because they understood the imbalance it would cause. And that he wasn't a threat to America. But, you know, we like these regime change wars. It doesn't matter whether they're a threat to the country or not. We'll send our citizens, our young children, our kids to war to die for our own interests. Period. We do it all the time. For our political interests, for our political goals. That's what we do. We've always done it. It's not a coincidence that the majority of wars, once we have been able to document and people have footage of what was really going on in these different places, that people were protesting because they understood that it was all senseless. Half the wars are based on either us not liking who they have in office, because a lot of it ain't really been us. Like it's being an actual threat, you know. WMDs with in 2002 with Saddam Hussein. Those terrorists came, damn near 9 of them came from Saudi Arabia. We didn't touch them. We touched Saddam Hussein because Bush, first off, Saddam at one point tried to have his father assassinated, and then they wanted that oil. Dick Cheney wanted that oil, period. But I'm going off course. But anyway, only thing I'm trying to say is they're depending on your ignorance. That's what they're doing. They're depending on you to not tune in, to tune in late, to see the highlights, to see, because think about how they stage a debate. It's not about them getting out any substance, any policy. It's just them going back and forth and having these sound bites so then they can show them on CNN later. And the Monday morning quarterbacks are the people that just want to see the highlights, see that, then they choose their candidate based on that. Period. They're depending on that. They're depending on what we used to do. They're depending on young people not going out to vote. They're depending on this. Same thing in 2008. Hillary Clinton. I mean, they got documentaries about it. Hillary Clinton staff said when we saw Barack Obama going to colleges, we was like, what is he doing? They're not going to vote. And they just ignored him. And guess what? They ended up losing. And they're betting on that because they think that because a lot of people and young people didn't come out in 2016, they wasn't really paying attention. What's up, Melissa? Do me a favor and go to like Twitter or Facebook or something. You'll be able to see like the graphic behind me, so it won't just be a green screen. But they didn't pay attention to the fact that Bernie Sanders followers felt like Bernie Sanders was cheated because of those super delegates. That's why they had the Unity Commission. The DNC had the Unity Commission in 2017 when they were right after the DNC chair race. They had a Unity Commission to try to join the party together and talk about super delegates because they're saying they can have super delegates. This is what they're talking about right now. They've been talking about this since Nevada. Is that when we get to the Democratic National Committee, that if no one has, the majority of delegates to be able to get the nomination, then are they going to give it to the person that has the most delegates? Or are they just going to keep them and then go through like super delegates? Because what super delegates are, it eliminates. So it's almost like how do you do it? It's almost like a caucus. So a caucus is like you have a first, second, and third vote. You have your first person. Okay, if they don't get it, then who's your second person? If they, and it kind of goes like that, and that's how it works out. So the super delegates are kind of in that same vein where it says, okay, if a candidate that has the most votes, the most, so this is another reason why they're trying to keep so many candidates in. By this time, historically speaking, hella people would have jumped out. Y'all saw how it was when we went to South Carolina in 2016. It was Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. You still got 8 people. You know why? Somebody's funding them to stay in the race. So when they get to the DNC, that they can then have this battle over super delegates, because super delegates is not the people. Super delegates are delegates that they've chosen. People that used to be in the Senate, used to be in Congress, used to be, mayors and things like that. Then they're the people who's a part of the establishment says, okay, well, we're going to give our super delegates to this person. They're betting on this. Unless Bernie gets the delegates outright, it's going to be a huge. And what's crazy is they're going to F themselves, because I guarantee if they pull that S off, I'm not voting for none of them. And I guarantee everybody else that's pulling for Bernie ain't gonna vote for none of them, because that's out of pocket. That's not giving the people who they voted for. That's giving them who you want to win, and that's what super delegates about. Republicans don't even have super delegates. That shit is unconstitutional. Because like I said, if a person don't have all the delegates they have, even if they have the majority, but obviously it'll be harder for a person to have all the delegates when you have 8 people that's still on the ticket, right? But so you go into the DNC, and now they don't have all the delegates. Now you're splitting them up. So now we say, okay, so the super delegates get to choose. So what that means is we take all the votes from the people that we've been campaigning for in these primaries throughout all these months, don't matter no more. Now we have a committee of super delegates that can choose and say, okay, we want this person. That's what super delegates are. That shit is illegal. It should be illegal. It's completely undemocratic, if that's what we are. But what's up, y'all? Do me a favor. Go to like my Facebook or my Twitter or my YouTube. Y'all be able to see the graphic and everything right now. I'm just trying to get people to go to that page on IG if y'all there. I want to show y'all another. I kind of jumped into this, but there's a couple things I want to talk about, y'all. If y'all know, we had another mass shooting today. I'm gonna get to it in a minute, but in Milwaukee there was another mass shooting today. But I want to get to so they interviewed Bernie, and this is I kind of want y'all to see this. We'll watch it together and then talk about it because I think it's interesting. Yeah.
Sanders, as I said, so that's how it feels, right? To be in the center, to be the front runner. How did it feel?
Well, I guess when you win the popular vote in Iowa and you win the New Hampshire primary and you win the Nevada caucus, this is what happens. Your name gets mentioned a whole lot. You get attacked a whole lot, but that's fine. We're feeling great, and I think we have the real momentum to win here in South Carolina and pull off a major upset and do very well on Super Tuesday.
So let me ask you about some of these attacks. It started right off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay, Vladimir Putin came up, and it started. Let me just play one of the first exchanges here, Senator.
I think that Donald Trump thinks it would be better if he's president. I do not think so. Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected, so
Mr.
you'll lose to
Bloomberg.
him.
Let me tell Mr. Putin, okay, I'm not a good friend of President Xi of China. I think President Xi is an authoritarian leader. And let me tell Mr. Putin, who interfered in the 2016 election, try to bring Americans against Americans. Hey, Mr. Putin, if I'm president of the United States, trust me, you're not going to interfere in any more American elections.
You seem like you enjoyed that.
Well, look, you got a situation where what the Russians did in 2016 is very, very serious stuff. We pride ourselves. What are we as a nation? If we don't have democracy, if we don't have the right to cast ballots that are secure, if we're not living in a free country. And Putin, not only in the United States, by the way, but all over Western Europe, is trying to disrupt democracy. He's an autocrat. He doesn't believe in democracy. He's trying to divide our people up in very, very ugly ways. That is an enormously serious attack against the American people. As President of the United States, that will end. Russia will not interfere in our elections.
The overall tone of what you say were attacks on you were not just about you because they want to be the front runner, not you. It was about you as an existential threat to the Democrats and the notion of trying to beat Donald Trump. And I'm just wondering how you combat that, not only on the presidential level, but also down ballot. I mean, I know I've heard from lots of Democrats who are focused on and even themselves trying to win again in suburbs who are freaking out.
Well, Dana, look, let's be
Hold
clear.
on. See, this is the issue with the Democratic Party right here. Because if you Dana Bash, if you listen to what she's saying right now, because of what I heard going down the ballot, that if you go in, that we're going to lose seats in the House and we won't be able to win the Senate. Did they not see 2018? They're so absent. They're so focused on things just like them having control and being able to do what they want, that even though the majority of the people that won in 2018 that was able to win the House back were progressives. They ran on a progressive ticket. They're still saying, oh, well, these people are worried. They're so absent. Think about 2016 when they said what they said about Donald Trump, that he would never win. You know why? Because they're pundits and they're pontificating in the studio. Sounds funny, like I am. But they pontificate in the studio instead of being out there with the people. Because in 2016, I was out there. I went to Trump rallies and covered it. And I saw the momentum. I saw the energy. I was like, it ain't looking good. If you go out there with Bernie, you see the energy. You know how it is. Nobody's just talking out their ass like as if we're just pulling stuff out the sky. We don't know what's going on. But they don't. Because they're not with people. They're around their whole tennis group or golf club or whatever. And they're just around their own circle who has no clue of what the middle class and the lower class people in this country deal with and what they're worried about and preoccupied about. Because they're in the studio living nice and they're just saying, oh, what are the people that I know? Come on now. Period. What about the people? F the people you know in the Senate. Obviously, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't never been doing nothing. And they definitely ain't doing the will of their constituents. Let's continue.
Is freaking out. As you're aware, some really horrific things have been said about me on at least one television channel. The establishment is worried. Wall Street is worried. The drug companies are worried. The insurance companies are worried. The fossil fuel industry is worried. And you know what? They should be worried. But here is the point. In the last 50 polls that have been done nationally, guess what? Bernie Sanders beat
I think he's right. They should be worried. You know why they're worried? Because Bernie Sanders is the only one that they know, if he get in charge, and especially if a progressive ticket takes over the House and the Senate, that they will not be able to get these government welfare that they get. You talk about poor people having welfare. You get these large corporations get the biggest tax breaks for building companies in different cities. They get more government assistance than anybody. What he's saying, they know if he gets in office, he's short stopping all that. So they're doing whatever they got to do to make sure that he stays out of office. Period. They even pumping up Pete Buttigieg. They would rather have him in than to have Bernie or anybody for that matter, because they know that anyone else, they're adjustable. We can talk to, we can push them because they don't have the conviction that Bernie has. I don't care what you feel. If there's anything you can say about Bernie Sanders, is you can trust him. Period.
Donald Trump 47 times out of 50. I will beat Trump. In battleground states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, just look at the polling this last weekend. I beat Trump. The way you beat Trump, in my view, is to have the largest voter turnout in the history of this country. And if you run a campaign in the same old way that we have run it in the past, if there's not energy and excitement, if you're not getting working class people to get involved in the political process, if you're not bringing millions of young people into the political process, and we are doing that, I think Trump is going to win.
And just to be even more specific, Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House because the Democrats won the suburbs.
Right.
And there is a lot of concern that Bernie Sanders at the top of the Democratic ticket means bye-bye to the suburbs. It's not about the corporate, structure or so forth. It's about the demographics of the suburbs.
No, I think, again, we might want to listen to the people. And the people voted for me in Iowa, New Hampshire, and in Nevada. And I think we're going to do very well in the coming elections. I think too often we have leadership that is isolated from where real people are. And if we're going to beat Trump, we need a powerful message that says, you know what? We need an economy and a government that works for everybody, not just the 1%. We don't talk about this on corporate media very often. We don't talk about it in the Congress very often. But there is something wrong when after 45 years of an increase in productivity and technology, the average American worker is not making a nickel more than he or she did 45 years ago. When in the last 3 years, the billionaires of this country have seen an $800 billion increase in their wealth, while last year the average American worker saw a 1% increase in his or her income.
So that's it. Think about that. That's what he's saying. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about it. They keep saying he's not electable. Historically speaking, look it up. There has never been a candidate that's won the popular vote in Iowa, has won New Hampshire, has won Nevada, and go into South Carolina into Super Tuesday as a top candidate that they were then speaking to, we still have time. He's not the winner yet. If you look at it, everyone was the winner then. Period. Period. They've never looked at the people voting and seeing their votes. This is not something that Bernie is not saying, oh, I can win because I think I can win based on my heart and how I feel inside. Based on the tickets, based on what people voted for, I can win. Like I am the person on this list. Numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. But they don't want to see that because Bernie will really disrupt them. You know what I'm saying? They don't. If they what they don't like about Trump is that Trump is mean. You listen to when they talk about Trump. He's mean. He's absurd. He's a child. That's what they say. They don't talk about his policy really because they love his policy. The only policy that they may not like, and I'm talking about these pundits and these people that's part of the 1% and all these people that got money. The only thing that policies that they probably don't like is immigration. And I would say that because what they don't like is the idea of a wall because of how it look. They want to be able to have better immigration laws. I mean, Barack Obama deported, y'all look this up, he deported way more immigrants than any president before him. That's just a fact. I love Barack Obama like he was my daddy. That's the truth. Period. He did that. And you can see what his drones, how many innocent people he killed from drone strikes. Way more than anyone before him. I guess the only one before him would be Bush, but still way more than even Bush. But what I'm saying is, everything else that the tax breaks, they love that. They'll probably fight for it because they know their constituents don't like it. But guess what? They got part of that tax break. They got part of that. Period. They won. When was the last time you heard somebody talk? When was the last time you heard Nancy Pelosi talking about taxes? She winning. All of them winning. They just hate how he acts. They hate his disposition. They hate how aggressive he is. The decorum, lack of decorum is what bothers them. Not policy. Not really. They love it. I heard these idiots on the other day when he was, not the other day, some months ago when he did some strikes in some other city. Kimber, what's up, girl? Go to either Facebook or YouTube. You can see the real thing. But they were saying how presidential he looked. He looked so presidential. Killing people, innocent people. We don't know where those bombs dropped for him while he was trying to find someone. And they was calling him presidential. No empathy. Because they don't really, like I said, they hate his behavior. They love his policy. They just want it to go. Biden is the person that's going to put it right. He's going to put up the veil again. Take that shit back around. Put it back in the closet, man. Why everybody, we don't want that out there like that. That's what he's doing. That's what they want. They just want it to be behind a curtain so they won't have to deal with it. But I would implore that we all be more diligent or just subscribe. Like this channel right now. Subscribe right now. It's called The Section. I'm going to be doing this more often, try to make sure. Right now I've been looking for work, so it's been hard to try to do it every day, but I'm going to try to make sure I make it a priority. But subscribe, like this page, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Facebook, subscribe on Twitter. YouTube, you probably won't be able to find it because I ain't put no, I didn't optimize the page. So if you look for the section, you probably won't see it. But if you go to my Twitter page, you'll see it. You go to my Facebook page, you'll see it. And subscribe so you know I can build up some followings. And so, but I'm gonna be doing this throughout the entire. I mean, I'm gonna do it every day. But the section is it's a progressive voice, and from a black perspective, and from a progressive perspective, you know what I'm saying, and having y'all really understand, because I think, like I said, I think they depend on your ignorance. That's what they're depending on. I don't mean ignorance in the sense of how you ignorant type shit, nigga. I ain't talking about that. I'm just talking about your lack of knowledge. They understand that a lot of people, they even were saying in the town hall today that, a lot of people, South Carolina was the first time that they tuned in. Think about that. They already had three debates just in the primaries. They had 10 debates already. They had 3 debates just in the primaries. They had 2 caucuses in the primary, and all of us, and they still know that a lot of people haven't. So they're betting on your ignorance, and so that's why it was an uproar, and they were just having these shouting matches yesterday, is because they're just trying to get sound bites. So the people that don't know much about the candidates can look at one, or based on what they heard from somebody, this is who I'm going for, they can go for that. That's what they're counting on. They don't want you to look at their policy and then see when they were lying, because the only thing you got to do is look. You look at their platform, and this is what we're gonna provide here as well. Is like dissecting their platform, so you can see the things that they lie about when they're on stage, because they lie a lot, because they know a lot of people they just aren't as diligent. You know, people got things to do. People worried about paying their rent. They aren't as diligent to look and see, oh, this person saying he stand for that. Why you on? But then you look at their platform, they don't. It's just a complete lie. So that's what I want to try to provide and have for you guys while we're here. On the section. The section is going to be a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of different things, but it'll be set up where I'm going to be able to Skype people in, have people talk like live, or we're talking right now, having a discussion, doing a whole lot of stuff that I've been doing, but just for myself, like right now. So right now I'm doing this, but it's just me. So we're talking about me editing, me doing all this. And so it's a lot when it's just you. It's the difference when you have one person in front of the camera, one person doing this, but I'm going to try to knock it out and be more consistent, so y'all can know, okay, Ty's gonna come on, y'all be looking for me, and trying to prepare more. Right now it's just been, as you guys know, I just moved out, so I'm in New York. It's been like a couple months now, and so I'm just trying to get cemented. You know what I'm saying? I miss LA for real. I miss my family, I miss my friends, I miss everybody, but you know what I'm saying, it's just something that gotta be done. But yes, it's called The Section, and so I want you guys to feel me and follow me. And I'm in New York now, so I'll be here, and I'm gonna try to come on for sure every day. Hopefully, I got an interview tomorrow, but starting next week for sure, it's gonna be every day, especially now because we're about to go into Super Tuesday, and I think that we definitely need. We got good progressive voices: the Young Turks, Status Quo. Aggressive progressives, Jimmy Dore. A lot of people that has a good progressive voice, but you know, I got some shit I want to say as well. So I want to make sure that I'm out, because I like to yell. I got an opinion, and I'm we're gonna have people. We're gonna be inviting people on. Everybody that's on IG, y'all can go to right now. I just have my IG on so y'all can know I'm live. But if you go to Facebook or Twitter to my page, and you'll see that we live. I got a graphic and stuff behind, but you can't see it with that. It's just a green screen. But if you go there, you'll be able to see it, and subscribe to the page, like the page. The more likes I get, the more priority I get from the platforms, Twitter, YouTube, and all that. And we're building a following. So subscribe, tell your friends about it. But it's all progressive, man. And as we move forward, obviously the channel will find its voice. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that I start, being more consistent about being live and going live. I appreciate you, girl. I can't even think of your name, but I remember I met her. I interviewed. She worked with Khalif Broder. Remember the kid that he was in jail because he committed crimes in jail for like 3 years, and then he hung himself. His brother was running for office when I was with the Young Turks. I interviewed him, and the lady that's on IG right now. She worked. That's how I met her in New York when I came out here when I was still living in LA though. But now I live here. I live out here. I said I haven't even seen you yet. We gotta connect. But Khalif Browder. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this, and we're gonna get a crowd. Oh, let me talk about. Y'all know we had a mass shooting today in Milwaukee. It says that it was Milwaukee campus on Wednesday afternoon. I guess an employee killed 5 people, 5 co-workers before turning the gun on himself. Authorities did not, this is coming from the Washington Post. Authorities did not identify the 51-year-old shooter who the company's CEO says was an active employee. So it seemed like he was an employee. And I mean, this is the same thing. I don't really know how to approach this outside of frustration. And not just frustration with Republicans, but Democrats too. Like, 2008, Democrats had the House and the Senate, 2008, 2010. In the same way that they bullied Medicare for All through ACA, Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, they could have bullied some gun legislation through, and they didn't. Even at the Newtown, they didn't. That lets you know how much they give a fuck about you. For real. For real. If it has to do with their money, none of it matters. The majority of the time, black people take the brunt of that, not giving a fuck. But if it's a white person that happened to be in that group, guess what? You're going to feel it too. Because it's about their bottom line. And they're going to always let you know it's about their bottom line. Look at what happened in Flint is a majority black, but there's a lot of poor white people there too. They didn't say, oh, well, there's some white people there. Nah, it's about their money. They just exploit black communities first. That's all. But you start to look at certain things. Look at gasoline. Look at the fracking. What's going on there? The majority of those people in Pennsylvania are white. They turn on their water. They can light their water up because the fracking, the quote unquote natural gas, have seeped through the fresh water, and now they gotta get waters and have them put in barrels because they can't even use that water because it has chemicals, flammable stuff. Like literally, you watch. It was a documentary called Gasland, and they show how you can light. People were able to light their sinks on fire, like light the water because it has so many chemicals in it. You know what I'm saying? So they're not really preoccupied with how you feel about what they're doing. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do them because it's all about their money. They're gonna get their money. Just know that. But yeah. So we got through this. Just to close, the Democrats are betting on they're betting on Biden to win South Carolina. My heart wants him to lose. And like I said, he got some backing by Claiborne, he's the majority whip and he's a real influential voice in the Congress there. He did a real emotional speech this morning. I would say that. I watched it and it was emotional. He was really trying to call to arms. But that, to me, that'll only resonate with people, with older people, maybe some people that's in their 40s, probably, that's from South Carolina. But it's not resonating with regular people. I mean, regular people, younger people is what I mean. Y'all can check this out. Check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. I want y'all to hear some of his. It was heartfelt. He tried to manipulate your feelings. That's what he's trying to do. He manipulated mine. I was like, ooh, that was a good speech.
I was next door at the Nance breakfast, and they have established an award in my wife's name, my late wife, and they decided that I should be the first recipient of that award. We met on South Carolina State's campus come March 15th, 60 years ago. I'll always remember that day because that was the first day that I was arrested. And I met her in jail on that day. We often talked about the leadership of this country. And there's nobody who Emily loved as a leader in this country more than she loved Joe Biden. And we talked about Joe all the time.
So we're going to have more in just a second, but I guess we're not too surprised that the endorsement is coming. It had been previewed this week, and it didn't seem, even going back months.
So, you see how emotional it got, his late wife? But it was a heartfelt speech. I ain't going to take that from him. I think it was genuine. He seemed like a genuine guy. I saw him for the first time last week, and I felt he was genuine. I appreciate him. I ain't going to take nothing from that just because he didn't endorse Bernie. But what I will say is if you listen to the speech, he talked more about he and Biden's friendship as it relates to someone that we should trust. So what essentially he's saying, trust me. Trust my relationship with him. And I mean, I hear you, but there's a lot of people that say, Trump ain't a racist. I know Trump. My relationship with him, what does your relationship got to do with how you make everybody else feel? So, but we'll see. On Saturday, we got the votes coming, and my heart. I would just love it. But it's going to happen because he got, and even, it doesn't, if Biden were to win, if he doesn't win by a large majority, his donors, because he has millionaire donors, he don't have a ground game like Bernie. He ain't going to have nobody saying, nah, they're going to just be like, I'll let Michael Bloomberg work it out. Or I'll put money behind Pete Buttigieg, who I think is hella fake, just fake. We interviewed him. He ran for the DNC chair. I don't know if y'all know. I followed that entire campaign, that entire race from city to city. I'll show y'all. And I don't know. He don't stand for nothing. I'm talking about policy. If you saw how his stance when he first got in, going for Medicare for all, when he first got into the presidential race, to now when he adjusted and just did it that means you stand for nothing, man. And that's where he is. He just, to me, he seems disingenuous. And a couple of times when you hear him speak, it was like, why that cadence sound familiar? Like he took Obama's speech or something. Look at him and listen to his speeches. Listen to how he's saying it, how he's delivering it. You like, I don't know, bro. Like you out here acting real familiar. But y'all check it out though. But he got a lot of problems with him firing the first black police chief in Indiana. He got a lot of issues in this city as a mayor with black people. And since I'm just starting my page, I'm gonna explore some of that stuff so you can really get an understanding of who he is and his history, because his history matters. We're talking about the president. We're talking about the next 4 years. And somebody that's going to do the same thing that always do, lie to us to get our vote and then do whatever they're going to do. You know what I mean? Because anybody can talk. All you got to do is know what to say. If you know what to say and you know how to give a speech, you definitely going to deliver it right. And it's going to seem heartfelt. But F that. We got evidence to show when you was in that same situation with the black people where you from and how you handled that situation. So look at people's actions, not what they saying, because they betting on you guys to just look at those highlights and those clips and those sound bites. So I'm gonna head out because it's 1 o'clock right now in New York, and we're gonna build this audience up though. I think I had like 3 or 4 people. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, like it, subscribe, and everything else. It's the section. Appreciate y'all.